Do you ever wonder how the historic houses in the Historic House Trust family look so darn good, even when some are over 360 years old? A major reason for those good looks are capital projects. Join us on a brief journey to learn how we manage the multi-year capital project process overseen at every stage by the dedicated members of the HHT Capital team. Every year, the Historic House Trust works closely with our partner historic houses to review each site's capital needs, including mechanical, electric, plumbing, and physical improvements. Both HHT and the house partners advocate for funding from within the New York City Parks Department and elected officials. A large portion of funding for these restoration projects comes from capital bonds sold by the city. That means your investment in city bonds plays a critical role in ensuring the funding for these important projects. Another important thing to know is that the Historic House Trust has a sole source agreement with the New York City Parks Department. All that fancy phrase means is that HHT is allowed to bid out specialized historic preservation design and construction capital projects on behalf of the city. Thanks to this agreement, HHT can select the most qualified firms and contractors to seek proposals and bids, ensuring these specialized projects to receive the best quality of work we can find. Projects start with a kickoff meeting between all stakeholders to coordinate the work and to minimize any surprises down the road. In these early days, the HHT team completes paperwork, signs tons of emails, and holds meetings to make sure the project is on track. New York City Parks and the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission must also approve designs before they enter construction. This is a lot of preliminary work, so, on average, it takes about 2 years before a shovel even hits the ground. Once the project enters construction, the real magic begins. One way to think of the construction phase is the duck phase. While the project is underway and running smoothly along the surface, fingers crossed, underneath the surface, the HHT Capital team is furiously paddling away, handling paperwork, technical clarifications, permits, issues, and payments. The Historic House Trust does not generate any revenue from these projects, though staff members dedicate much time and energy to ensuring everything moves forward as planned. If everything goes smoothly, the average time it takes to complete the construction phase is 12 to 18 months. But given that conditions in the historic houses can be unpredictable, construction often uncovers a few surprises. HHT tries to anticipate this during the design phase and plan accordingly. It can take years to complete these projects and finally unveil them to the public. Sometimes it's hard to be patient, but the results are always worth it. And remember, the goal of our capital projects is to preserve the historic integrity of these historic houses. So conditions and historic details will improve dramatically, but the overall appearance will remain intact. This allows New Yorkers and visitors alike to transport themselves through time to experience these remarkable places as they might have looked hundreds of years ago, before the hectic city we know developed all around them.